What up, world? Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. You already know what it is. Welcome to Waxvillain Fireside Chat. I'm stoked. We got Marta Roman, aka the Blaxound, tapping in all the way from Barcelona, Spain, to talk about the new LP, Marvelous Sound. Keep it locked. We'll kick things off real soon. We see you, Nori. Nessie Ness in the building. Appreciate you. Shout out to DMZ Records. We see you. Marta's gonna be here real soon. Keep it locked. Yeah, we see you, Chicano. That new LP coming real soon. Up for pre-order now. Chris Lujan in the building. We see you, brother. Andre Cruz in the building. Waxvillain family all day. The request is sent. We in the house. Yeah. What up, Marta?
Hi, how are you? I'm fine.
Fantastic. Happy to be here. I see you're in the lab. You're cooking something up.
Yeah, well, I just came down just to show you around a little bit, but yeah.
Very, very cool. All right. So I see we got about 6 on the line. If you're ready, I'll go ahead and kick things off.
Sorry, you said?
If you're ready to start, I'll go ahead and kick things off.
Yeah. Yes,
right.
Whenever you want.
I want to welcome everybody to Waxvillain Fireside Chat. Fireside Chats are similar to interviews. However, we take the time to do the research so that we're not duplicating efforts. More importantly, we want to support and strengthen other existing articles out there. We got about 8-9 questions. We got the lightning round. We got show and tell. I'm so stoked, y'all. Today, we are joined by Marta Roman, a.k.a. the Blaxound from Barcelona, Spain. My connection to Marta started with Adam Valenzuela, Love Soul Productions. He came to me months ago and said, V, there's this instrumental album you got to hear. I think it's right down your alley. I said, I'm all ears. That's how I connected with Marta. I've been listening to this record for a while now, and here's what I'm so excited about, because we've seen a handful of instrumental albums come out this year. But what makes Marta's work different is that we're getting funk and soul, genre-bending music through the lens of a musician from Barcelona, Spain, which we normally see the reverse. So I'm so excited to get to meet Marta, have all y'all hear more about the record. Marta, welcome. Happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Happy to have me here. Yeah.
What time is it in Spain right now?
It's 7 p.m.
7 p.m. I just finished breakfast, so that's how we roll right now. Let's start off with the very basic stuff. I'd love it if you could introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and how long you've been making music.
Okay, I'm Marta Roman, and I'm from the north of Spain. I come from Santander, which is on the top north of Spain, a really windy and rainy town. And
kind of like Seattle.
I think it's kind of Seattle a little bit. Yeah. So I came to Barcelona because I wanted to study music also. I did my degree in mathematics, but I also wanted to do some music. So I studied modern music. And then I've been making music since I was, I don't know, a teenager maybe. I started playing in punk rock bands, I guess, like many people around. And then somehow I evolved into more, I don't know, like jazz music. And then from there I got into soul music. And yeah.
So you did it the right way, though. You went to school for math to learn how to make the money, and then you learned the music stuff later on, right?
I have done something different, because I must say mathematics, that's not what makes the money, really. I guess it should be something like economics, or I don't know. But yes, I make my living, out of mathematics.
Very cool. So one question I like to ask all my guests: is there a quote or a mantra that you live by, that's something that you hold close to heart, a favorite quote that means a lot to you?
I don't want to use this mantra like carpe diem, like live day by day. I don't want to do that, but I try not to project myself too far, because many things happen, and sometimes we make plans for future plans, and then we don't enjoy what we are doing right now. So I try to be conscious of where I'm now and try to enjoy what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
Be present. I love that.
Trying to be present.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And if you can do that, that's a good start. That's what I always try and start my days with, right? Just being present, bringing the best version of myself to the table. Great. Okay. So Marvelous Sound, right? Fantastic instrumental album. Pre-order kicked off May 10th, I believe. We're targeting June for the physical release in stores. What inspired you to have this body of work under the project title, The Blaxound?
Where the inspiration comes from, yeah, you mean?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of evolution, because this is my third LP, like the third album. But in between albums, first album is from 2007, and the second one is from 2014. So there is 7 years, and it's completely different records also. Although the music is into the soul funk universe, but it's very different albums between them, and also happen in between, yeah, because I have a regular job. I don't live out of music. I don't make my money out of music. So in between albums, many things happen, and I think I also changed my taste from one album to the other. Yeah,
evolution.
Yeah, of course. The first album is more like jazzy influence, because I was studying modern music and I was more into jazz. And I think this one is more like, I don't know how to say, but more like this kind of cinematic soul instrumental thing. And it's like first on the Daptone sound, yeah, like this Menahan Street Band and the Butos Band, this kind of tough sound, very tight, but also many other bands that I have seen later on Colemine Records and also here in Europe. And that's really nice to try to catch up that sound and that intensity on the playing, yeah.
So I got to be honest with you, you know, in seeing the promotions and hearing the comparisons, for what I do, it's important to me that the musicians, the bodies of work, they have their own identity. And while music might sound similar to other musicians or albums or things like that, what I heard when I listened to your music was something that didn't sound like that, but it was your own unique flavor. It was kind of like I said, we're getting this genre-bending style of soul and funk through the lens of a multi-instrumentalist from Barcelona, Spain. And to me, that's what your music sounds like. Something special, something new, it's something different. Yes, I think it's reminiscent of you know, what we might get with Daptone or Colemine, but I believe that this is all you. It was your hands on the work with this. It's your inspiration, your memories that led you to create this, right? It was you in the studio. It wasn't the other folks or anything like that. So I want to make sure that you are giving yourself credit and acknowledging the fact that this is your own sound. This is the Blaxound.
Yeah. I think mostly I do everything here, what you see around. Yeah, this is my workplace for music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I have this background of things I listen to, but I also have my personal background or where I come from. Yeah, I have played in many different bands. I have also played a lot of reggae music. So I think at some point gets together. I also like a lot of like pop music, like the Smiths. So I think there is that on the guitars. When you hear the guitars, they have a little bit of pop, like kind of RPG sound, like so. I think everything comes together and is there, yeah. And also, so I have a little bit of flamenco background, which I see on one of the tracks in the record have a like flamenco harmony, yeah. So everything ends up there, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's that genre bending sound, and you got to give yourself credit for that, because those are the things that I was hearing when I was listening, even into the way that the drum tracks are processed, the arrangements around them. I used to make beats, so I'm always listening to the way the kick and a snare hit, the timing, the velocity, and everything like that. And it's very unique. I would say those drum patterns are not heard on other records that sound similar. But with that said, it's time that we talk about the key players that were involved. Can you talk about the other musicians that contributed to this? Shout out real quick to Harrison Horns. The horns on this record are fantastic.
I must say, they always play together because they play with many different bands here in Barcelona. They play also with, they have many bands they play in, but they don't usually like introduce themselves as the Harrison horns. They play individually, and it's no, guys, you have to tell that you are the Harrison horns and that you are really specialized into this type of music.
I did my homework.
And they are starting to do that right now because they say, okay, yeah, you are right. I think we have to start to do that. So they are starting now to promote themselves as a horn section, yeah, because they really play together. And when they are recording, we were recording last week some new tracks here at the studio, and you can feel that how they play with each other, that they really have the same beat and the same intensity, yeah, and that's really important because on previous albums I have never worked before with a horn section. Yeah, it was like the saxophone, the tenor saxophone, the alt saxophone, the trumpet, but they were not people who were used to play together. And I can really feel that on the previous albums, that the horn section is not that tight, is not super tight. And I feel that in this album, in the El Maravilloso Sonido Instrumental, the horn section goes more like, wow, they have a really important role there. Yeah.
So that was what led me to kind of dig in and find out who was playing this, because to your point, you can listen to a record with horns and you can tell when they're just featured. On this record, there's this different type of synergy when you're listening to the way that they play on each, and it's consistent song after song. So I'm like, who's playing horns? I need to find the answer to that. Who's on the drums?
The drums is Caspar St. Charles. He does not have an Instagram. I have told him, like, man,
shame on him.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's really not famous, but a really well-known drummer here in Spain, in Barcelona. And I must say, yeah, from my perspective, I think he's one of the best drummers when it comes to this kind of New Orleans style drum. He's really good at that, and he has done many tours, played with many people. But somehow, I take him into the studio. I demo the tracks. Here, and then I take him. He's the first musician to come here. So then he comes and he plays the drums over the demo, and then have his drums really well tracked. That's when I start recording bass and guitars after him. Yeah. So he's a key piece. Yeah.
Okay. And then you're on strings, right?
I'm playing bass and guitars on all tracks. Yeah.
Okay. Who else is on the project? Do we miss anybody?
No, a very important one is also the keyboard player, Aretha Smith. Okay. He's a real keyboard player, and he has a Hammond B3 organ in his studio. So we have recorded the Hammond organs with a real Hammond B3 with the Leslie and everything, and that's really nice.
Yes, yeah. I love the Leslie. Okay. So here's my question for you, right? And I see songs like Mai Tai, Orgullo, Dakar. Now, I did the research. I looked some of this stuff up. Pride, Eye of the Tiger. Can you just translate for us what the songs are, what they mean, and maybe tell us what some of your favorite songs on the album are?
Yeah, I think they are more like feelings, or I don't know how to say, yeah, because, for example, Dakar is more like African, yeah, African funk, yeah, or Afro funk.
Yeah.
So Dakar is a name that really fits, yeah, to that song. And also, Mai Tai, I don't know. It was like kind of, because it's instrumental music, I did not want to have like this kind of really intense names. So it was more like something that was giving me the feeling on the music, but it was a little bit random, I must say, yeah. But there is also like a background. For example, Orgullo, which really means proud, yeah. Means Orgullo is proudness. And that's a cover of Las Grecas, which is a Spanish early 70s gypsy rock band.
Oh, my God.
Gypsy. Yeah. So it's kind of a tribute to them, yeah, because the original one is with lyrics and it's more rock style, and this one goes most to the, I don't know, Tarantino cinematic soul, yeah, way of playing the song. So yeah, there is this kind of background. There are some, I don't know, I particularly like Mai Tai. I really like Mai Tai. Yeah. Although I think it's not, I think people like more Orgullo, because Orgullo is a little bit more different, yeah, because it has the flamenco harmony. And I think for someone who is not from Spain, made sound really like, okay, what's happening here? Yeah, how can you play flamenco sound with a soul and wah guitar style? Yeah, so I think that's nice.
That's fantastic, and I love that little story there because we would have never known that this was a tribute to another band. All of those kind of connection points are so important as we're listening to the music. We wonder what, inspired you to make this? What were you thinking during that time? What led, how were you feeling that day in the studio? And so to hear that it's a tribute, I think that's important. It makes us want to dig deeper and do the research. So with that said, you used the word earlier, cinematic, to kind of describe the theme of this record. Talk to us about where the name The Blaxound comes from, right? How does that tie into the energy on this record? If you had to describe the sound in 3 words, what would it be?
Yeah, it would be like cinematic soul, probably. But I have been very influenced by soundtracks, by blaxploitation soundtracks in early 70s.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them up there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite blaxploitation?
I must say probably, I know it's really obvious, but probably Superfly and Blackula. I really like a lot Blackula. Okay.
You got to check this one.
I know that one. Yeah.
This one, you probably know this one, Bobby Womack there. Let me see if I can get a good one real quick.
See you properly.
So here's one not a lot of people know about.
I don't know that one. What was that one? Okay.
That's the Flasher. It's about it's about a peeping Tom.
Okay.
You said Superfly.
Yeah, that one is fantastic. Yeah.
How about this Superfly though?
Yeah. TNT. I've seen that one.
Let's see what else we got. See, you opened up a big bag when you said blaxploitation.
Yeah. I have never seen that cover, I guess. Not the cover, but yeah.
This is one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Herbie Hancock played a part in this. Anyways, I don't want to segue too much from what we were talking about, but you said blaxploitation. And so that was really important to me because I love that music. That was what got me. I got into vinyl through making beats. It was the movies, the blaxploitation, the rough grittiness, right? That's what captured me. That's what I think of when I think of black cinema, when I think of the music. And that is what we're hearing. Okay.
No, because someone said on the chat that we should have coffee. And I wanted just to show that I have coffee here. Yeah.
I love that. Pam Grier's my favorite. I love Pam Grier. Yeah. Shout out to Pam Grier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. We talked about the 3 songs. Now, let me ask you this question right here. What is it that you want listeners to take away from hearing this record, hearing this music?
Ooh, I guess it's more like a feeling, yeah? If you get a good feeling out of it, that's the purpose. And in fact, what I would like is that people who like this type of music, if they may like the record, I would like to reach people who really like this music, yeah? Because I know we are a lot of people to this type of music, but sometimes it's difficult that we get to know each other because I also discover lots of bands that I say, wow, they are really good, but where have they been all my life? Why have I never heard of them before? And I think that's the point, yeah? That like, if people are into this type of music, like try to get each other to know each other, yeah? And listen to each other's music. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Let's see here. So one of the things that I thought was super, super cool, and I hinted on this earlier, was you're in Barcelona, Spain. You connect with Adam Valenzuela, Love Soul Productions in California. Golden Rules, I believe in Europe. Germany is also supporting. Talk about how you connected with these, industry folks, with your relationship, what they've, meant to the music that you've put out.
I think the thing is, when I released the previous album, Transmission, it was 2013 or 14, I guess. So at that point, although Spotify already existed and also Instagram, it was not like a regular place to promote your music. So my previous album was mostly promote physically. When I mean physically, I mean
okay. Yeah.
sending CDs to people and, like sending physical copies of the record. And that has completely changed. So when I had the album ready and I wanted to say, okay, now it's time to press the record. I was a little bit out of how things work today. In fact, I have never had an Instagram before. I created the Instagram when I released this record. Yeah. So it was kind of, okay, now it's time to get into digital, because that's how things work today.
Yeah.
So I check for the labels that I like, and I knew Golden Rules because they have released before one track from a band from Barcelona, where the percussion player, he has played on my record also. So I knew from Golden Rules, or because they have played, on some of their musicians on the other bands have played with me, and I also, when I created my Instagram, I get to know Love Soul Productions. And that's when I got into their profile and I liked what they did. And I saw that they were also releasing music. So I did it like, I sent emails to, it was not that many, maybe 8, 10 record labels that I thought I did, because I really only sent the records to record labels that I felt that I fit in, into that record. So I sent the record to Adam Valenzuela in Love Soul Productions and also to Johannes at Golden Rules. And they both said that they were interested in helping me out, and releasing the record. And so mostly Golden Rules focus more on the digital release of the album. And with Adam, we are doing more like the physical release,
Okay. Is Adam helping out in terms of any of the engineering, the production or mixing, any guidance?
Not for this album, because when I sent him the album was already finished. I already had mastered it. It was completely finished. But we have been talking about it, and I see what he's doing in his studio also. So I think there is a natural path that sooner or later we will end up doing something together, because it comes natural, that to do, maybe here we do the drums, he can do something there, and try to send each other. But Adam works mostly 100% analog. So sending tapes is a little bit more complex. We will need to figure out if we can do it with some help of digital.
Yeah. Well, I met Adam, I want to say maybe end of January, February of 21, by way of the Intuitions First. And I just think over the time, he's a fantastic person, but I think he's one of the top producers, hands down, on the indie soul and funk scene without a question. So, it's a great partnership there. I'm really glad to see y'all connect. He's just a really great person. And it's great to see that stamp on this record. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about that I think is really, really important, you being from Barcelona, Spain, there's underground funk and soul scene that exists out there. Could you give us a lens into that subculture? Let us know what it's like. Maybe just talk about how that influenced you as well.
I think that scene has been there for very long, but it's not that strong right now. Right now, it's I guess it's the same everywhere because of the COVID pandemic. Somehow things, like live music has really, really stepped down. So, and that's the same because Barcelona, is a really touristic city in Europe. It's one of the most touristic cities in Europe. So many people who come to Spain and to Europe, they all want to go to Barcelona, because it's fantastic. But there are not many places to play live right now. And that's because of many of the nice places they shut down, and that's a pity, I must say. But before that, there has been this kind of underground scene of funk, particularly like deep funk, and there are all of really well-established bands, Fundación Tony Manero, because they might not be well-known in the US, but they have been very, very famous and popular in Spain. And I think they created this kind of background for other bands to come, like saying, okay, they have made it, they are playing live a lot, they are playing good shows, maybe we can do the same. So I think from there, many bands and young people, I'm talking about maybe 20 years ago, maybe, that when I arrived to Barcelona, I said, okay, maybe I want to try to do that also, So at the very beginning, punk music, and from there it has evolved into a more like soulful style music.
Okay. Interesting, interesting. So I got to go a little deeper. What was some of the music that you grew up listening to? What were you hearing at home? What were you listening to, you know, when you were in grade school and everything like that?
When I was in grade school, I must say, I will be honest, I was really into punk hardcore music,
Yeah.
but really, really that. And but I was at the same time also into a lot of hip hop and rap. And that's because
Yes.
I come from a small town. And in my
Okay.
town, because it's a town, we all hang out together. So it was people who listen hip hop, people who listen punk hardcore, and we all went together as kids. Yeah, it was just natural because it was not like the punk kids on one side, hip hop kids on the other side. It was all meld together. So we all got a lot of influence from each other. So I have this close friend.
Yeah.
It was Albert, and he was really into jazz music. Yeah, but we were like 17, and he was really into Miles Davis and Sonny Rollins,
Yeah.
and you have to listen to this, Marta. And I was like, yeah, that's good, but I really like punk hardcore. I don't know, I want to play hard right now. But at some point, that music was getting into my background and more into my background.
Yeah.
So I started to listen to, at the beginning, it was like Marvin Gaye,
Hmm.
Curtis Mayfield, Aretha Franklin, you know,
Okay.
like standards, but it really got deep into me, yeah. And little by little, I stopped not playing that much hardcore, like putting it on a side, and then getting more into this kind of soulful music, yeah. And then I decided to study modern music, and that's when I came to Barcelona to do my studies in music. So yeah, it was kind of an evolution.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's so interesting about that. I've noticed a couple things in doing my interviews and also just like reflecting on my upbringing. One, I see a lot of musicians start with punk and then they gravitate towards soul. The others, it usually starts out with hip hop music. So, like myself, I grew up listening to hip hop music, and I chuckled for a little bit because when I think of like the different groups in school, like hip hop and punk in the States, at least for me, where I grew up, you would never see them, you know, mixing. It would always be on opposite ends of the room. But hip hop is what got me into the soul, the funk. And I think what it was listening to those few seconds of a sample, whether it was an instrumental or a vocal, but that was what I loved. It was never so much about the lyrics or the delivery of the voice, but the samples. And then, you know, years later, I start making beats, and here I am not making beats, and all I do is love soul and funk and so on like that. But it was that evolution. It took me, that was my journey to find this music, right? The more that it moves us, the closer we get to it, and we kind of leave, you know, existing music in previous chapters of life. But I think that's fascinating that that was how you kind of got here, what you were listening to and everything like that.
That's really interesting because my friends, my hip hop friends, yeah, that those were the ones who really discovered me like soul music. Because for me, hip hop was a little bit of boring. But they say, no, come on, don't you see that this beat is taken from James Brown?
Yeah.
And really, James Brown, what's that? And then I started to listen to James Brown, and they say, no, but this other one is from the GBs, and this I don't know, like many samples. And I say, oh, come on, this is crazy. How they are into music, yeah, they are collectors. And all my hip hop friends, they are really huge collectors. They have thousands of records at home, and that's where I took my background, yeah, from them. Like, okay, open a door. It's like, okay, they open this kind of collectors, and you have many. So it was really interesting. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. When you are not making music, what do you like to do with your spare time?
I must say, I'm really into trail running, like running in the mountains. I
Oh,
love
okay.
it. I live really close to the mountain. It's like 1 mile from my home here,
Okay.
and I'm really into that. But because it really fits really well for my head. Because when I'm in the studio, this is kind of, let's say, like intellectual work. Yeah, it's kind of trying to create music. But
Yeah.
when I go running, it's the other way around. It's really physical. Yeah, it's really all putting your energy into running. So it really fits me really well because I need both. Yeah, I need like the physical part and also like this kind, like the music part. So I spent quite a lot of time in the mountain. I also like the feeling of being outdoors and see like, I don't know, a deer, a wild pig, a rabbit, or whatever I see around, and that's really nice for me. Yeah.
I love that. So that's a great segue into the next question. Talk to us about how long it took you to make this body of work, and give us a lens into the different roles you were playing to complete this project. What did it take? What were the challenges you went up against?
It takes me quite long to write a record, yeah, because if you see the previous albums, it's like 5-7 years in between, and it's because I do it in my spare time, and also I take care of, I do production, I write the music, I do most of the arrangements, so it really takes me lots of time, because it's not a band that we play together, we prepare the songs and then we go to the studio and record everything. It's the other way around. I demo everything at home, I demo everything here, and when I have the demos, I take musicians, but I go little by little, maybe 2 tracks today, next recording session, I do 2 tracks on drums, then the horn section. So it's a little bit of going step by step. But as I also do the production and everything, it takes me quite a lot of time to put all the pieces together, yeah? Because sometimes there are some tracks that I have recorded up to 3 times, yeah? Because the first time, maybe it was a little bit up-tempo. And then the second time, I don't know, I did it to many breaks, and no, it has to be more simple. So some tracks I have done them like 3 times, yeah, like re-recording them to get like the feeling I wanted, yeah. Wow. So it really takes me quite a lot of time to to put everything together, yeah, all the pieces.
How do you know when the song is right?
I don't know. I guess you get to a point, but it's more like a feeling, and it comes and go, that you say, I have to stop, because if not, I will never finish it. Yeah. And it's like, of course it can be done better. Yeah. It can be done better, of course. But it's like, okay, I stop it here, because if not, I will never end. And also when these musician friends come to the studio, they say, wow, that's perfect. Just go. And it's like, okay, no, just one tambourine on the chorus. Yeah. Like it is no, come on, stop it. Go and mix it. Yeah.
Who was the most important person in your life as you were making this record? Was there somebody that you were constantly bouncing ideas off of? Somebody that was very encouraging that, played a significant part?
I must say there is no particular person, because at least for me, music is more like, I don't want to say a spiritual place, right? Yeah, but it's a place where I like to be alone here. In fact, I don't like playing live a lot. If I have to play live, I do it, and I have done it many times, but I really like being here in the studio, and I prefer being alone, I must say, because I really like the lab, yeah, like making the arrangement, trying guitars, trying things, trying to put things together. So I don't really look for this kind of feedback from anyone in particular, although my friends around, they know what I'm working on, and I tell them, yeah, like, oh, I'm working on this track, it's going to be a cover of or whatever, and they say, wow, that sounds nice. But there is not real this kind of close feedback, yeah, with anyone in particular.
It's funny that you say that, because I remember like years back when I would make beats, the best stuff always happened when I was in the studio by myself. I didn't mind having people come over to record vocals over the beats. I didn't mind going to a studio. I just know that I could not create with other people around the same way I did when it was just me and the music, having this canvas to be able to explore with, different sounds, apps, things like that. So I really appreciate that. And I think it's quite brave to share that. Because I think when we're doing things by ourselves, the toughest person to get past is the one that we see in the mirror. So the fact that you've been able to harness and manage that and be able to have that confidence to put your music out there like that is really important. So, thank you for that. Let's talk show and tell, because I pulled show and tell on you at the very last minute. You got some things you can show us in the lab real quick?
Okay. I don't know. For me, it's very special, although it's not that special in the US, I guess. This is a harmony guitar. They are quite popular in the US. I mean, they are easy to get one in the US, but they are quite difficult to get one in Europe. And I got this one from Italy. And I really like it because it really has this kind of the guitar sound that I really like. It's not a super expensive guitar. It's not a super really good guitar. There are guitars that are much, much better than this one, but this one has that sound. And that sound, it with that. And it's just like plug it 1 minute, like on the amplifier, and you have the sound, yeah? So I really, really like it. It's from, I think it's from 1977 or something like that. So I really take care. I'm really careful with it, like really have it like clean up. Everything is tuned.
That's your
so
baby.
It's kind of, yeah. It is my baby. It is my.
Can you show it one more time so we can see it?
Yeah, sure. It's a harmony.
A little higher,
guitar.
Up over this way. There. Okay. Yeah.
It's called harmony vibrojet because it had a vibrato into the. It had a vibrato because it was kind of popular in that period. But I never used the vibrato on the guitar. I always use the vibrato on the amplifier. But yeah.
Okay. Anything else for show and tell?
Yeah, this is my work. The mixing board is a Studer 963. They are European. They were made in Switzerland. This one is from the late 70s, early 80s. And this is really where everything happens. Yeah, this is where I put all the microphones into. I also use some external hardware, but this is mostly where everything happens. This mixing board here, and I really, really, really like the sound it has. Yeah. It's really, really nice.
That's where the magic happens.
Well, I don't know if it's magic, but at least really good things for me. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's awesome. Who's the picture of on the wall over there?
That's James Brown.
Okay.
That's James Brown. Man.
You got Coffee Foxy Brown on one side, James Brown on the other. I see what's going down there. You're surrounded by inspiration.
Yeah. That's my inspiration. I must say James Brown has been really important also for me in my music. Yeah. He's a real inspiration.
So this, I take it for the most part, is one of the latest albums that you've released in a digital manner on this, where you've done your marketing and program, or promoting stuff through social media. How does it feel to kind of get the reception you've received so far? What does it feel like to have an album that people are pre-ordering and has this approaching release date? What does that mean to you?
I must say it's completely different from anything I have done previously, yeah, because it's like I'm feeling the feedback before even the album is out, yeah, and that's really, really good. And I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people on Instagram and from Bandcamp. I'm getting a lot of orders from people who write me messages that I really like your music. I really like the style or the sound, the production, and that's really, really important because I feel it as something really like a compliment to me. Yeah, I feel really like grateful for that. Like wow, and I feel that somehow is reaching the right people. When I mean the right people, like people who really appreciate the music and they like it, and really good feedback. Yeah, like people who really know about this thing saying, wow, I really like your music. Yeah, so that's really, really good feeling.
Very good. So it releases in June. That's when it's going to be in stores. That's when it's going to start showing up in people's mailboxes. What else can we expect from Marta, the Blaxound, for the rest of the year? Any new music? You don't like performing live, right? So you're probably not going to go on tour?
I must say the musicians who have recorded the album, the instrumental album, they all want to go live. And they told me, come on, Marta, let's put the band together. So I think at the very end, I will have to put the band together and play some live music and to introduce the album also, yeah, to do the presentation of the album.
Hey, yeah. I can see it right now. I can see a California stage. I see the heart tones. I see the intuitions. I see Blaxound. I see it all right now. It's got to happen.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
I'm also here. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm also recording a vocal album. I produced the record, but it's with a singer. He's called Ivan Espejo. We have a single on Spotify. You can listen to it if you want. It's just 2 tracks. But what I want to do on that project is soul music, but with this kind of retro style sound, like kind of old school sound, but sung in Spanish. Because If we sing in English, I think there are many bands who do like really fantastic job singing in English. Yeah, like there are many really good references, and I think coming from Spain, trying to do it in Spanish and do this kind of link with the classic Spanish singing, like boleros with kind of boleros and maybe a little bit of boogaloo, but not playing Latin, playing soul, but with this kind approach of Spanish in the lyrics. And that's where I'm really, 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 really focused right now, like finishing this album because we have the album already written and we have the lyrics, they are all demo. So we just need to record the lyric properly and the album will be ready during this year.
You got to keep it authentic. Keep the vocals in Spanish.
The thing is that it sounds a little bit weird because I think to sing soul, English really feels more natural, yeah, because of the way of wording and the intonation. And Spanish sounds a little bit more pop. It sounds really pop. So we are trying really to put it together and try to make it soulful in Spanish. And I think it's going to be really nice. Yeah. We are really, really looking forward to finish the record.
That's so exciting. I'm really happy for you. And I'll break out to Spotify so I can wet my beak and hear some of these songs, but I'm definitely looking forward to it just based on what you've described right there. Now, you're on Instagram, we know all that, but tell folks where they can find you online, just as a point of reference. You said Bandcamp. What are the other social media places that we can find your music at? How do we connect with you?
Mostly Instagram and Bandcamp because I'm not really into social, or I have never been before. I don't have Facebook or TikTok or any other social. So I think Bandcamp, Instagram is a good thing. And also I have a website. It's called Blaxound.com. You can go there and you have the links there to YouTube. I have some videos in YouTube. You can check the videos on the YouTube channel. So if you look also for the Blaxound on YouTube, you will get videos, but that's mostly where you can reach me. If you want to reach me directly, I think Instagram is the best place. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned the website. That's important to know. Okay. All right. Fantastic. It is now time for the lightning round. Are you ready for these questions? It's 10 quick one-word answers.
Okay. I will focus and I will try.
All right. Color vinyl or OG black?
I prefer black. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite place to shop music?
There is a place here in Talleres. It's a really nice street full of record shops. I have a Revolver. It's called Revolver. I like to go there and dig around for some records.
Oh, good 45s?
No, they are more into like LPs, but they have some 45s, but not really. They are not really into the 45. Yeah.
All right. What's the first section that you go to when you enter the record store?
Probably the soul section. Yeah, of course. I go straight to that.
What's the last album you bought?
Antibalas. They played here in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago. So I took the opportunity in their life and I bought the last album. So I bought the album and I got it signed by them, by the musicians. So it was really nice to see Antibalas here in Barcelona.
That's fantastic. Okay. What's something that you listen to that would surprise us?
That I think you should listen to G.P. Bimeni. He's from the record has been produced and recorded in Spain, in Madrid, but he's originally from sorry, I don't remember where the country of origin, but they live in France. But G.P. Bimeni and the Black Belts, their production is fantastic. The songs are really good. It's really a must. I really say it's a must. But I think they are not that popular in the US right now, but they will be because I really believe it's a fantastic album.
Okay, that's great. Let's see here. Name a slept-on record we should go check out. Something that people miss out on. They don't think to listen to.
Oh, that's a difficult one. You got me.
Okay.
I don't know. I particularly like, but he's quite well known. But Chris Lujan, the last record from Chris Lujan and Andre Cruz.
They're
Chris.
on the live stream right now.
Okay, I really, 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 really like that record. The real thing. It is such a good record. I think they are getting quite a good recognition right now. But I think they should get much, 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 much more recognition because the album is. I get my like goosebumps. So yeah, I really. Yeah.
Those are fantastic sentiments. I love that. Okay. If you were not making music, what would you be doing?
Right, I don't know. I think I need to do something that is creative. So I really like photography.
Okay.
I really like I like cinema. So I need to put something interesting in my head, whatever it is. It might be music, it might not be music, but I don't know. I would probably try to do something, whatever it is. Maybe try to write a book or something. You know.
You need to create.
I need to create something. Yeah.
Okay. If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Invisible. Yeah, sometimes I really want to be invisible. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Last question for the lightning round. If you had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Sorry, a theme song. What do you mean by a theme?
So when you walk in the room, what's the song that you imagine playing when you enter the room? Like when a movie starts, there's a theme song.
Okay. Wow. No. You got me on that one.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's see here. How about this? Let me say it like this. What's that one song when you get in the car and you're feeling really good? The sun is out. It's a nice day. What's that one song that you want to hear?
I think it changed a lot from, depends on the day, but I have like this kind of, wow, it always works really well. And it's quite obvious, but it's Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? I just played that record. It's me like, okay, this is a perfect album. It's one of the best albums ever. And it's just like, okay, if I don't know what to put, I just play Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? And it's like, wow, everything fits into place. Yeah, like this is the right record every time.
That's fantastic. Marvin's great. I love your old soul and your connection to the music and everything like that. That takes us to the end of the interview. I really want to thank you so much for making time to be here. I learned so much from you today. And I think, the one thing that I want to say to you is that I heard your music isolated by itself. And I want you to be proud of the work that you created. And it's your own genre-bending sound. Sure, it might sound similar to things, but we're getting soul and funk through the lens of Marta and the Blaxound. And that's what I hope that you tell people. You don't need the training wheels of it sounds like this or it sounds like that. This is your work of art.
Thank you very much for having me here. And thank you very much for this chat. It has been really nice, and for your nice work.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
I'll catch up with you afterwards over DM. Everyone that's watching, the stream will be available. Make sure you share it. Make sure you pre-order the new LP from the Blaxound, the Marvelous Sound. There's a cool color variant. There's the OG black vinyl. Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. We're out. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Thank you very much. Thank you.